Moms are some of the busiest people in the world, juggling everything that life has to offer, and I am one of them. I will show you how to create everyday gourmet meals for your friends and family with not much time and on a budget. This is Mama Cuisine. With the warmer months coming, everyone is looking to eat lighter. Today, I'm going to prepare a wonderful summer berry salad with fresh strawberries, blueberries, and a black berry balsamic vinaigrette. Also, I'll be preparing a chicken and lemon caper sauce with orzo pasta. This is sure to please. So let's begin. First, we're going to start with the capers. Capers is a berry, and it's a little green berry-looking thing, mostly used in Mediterranean and Italian cooking. I like to use it a lot, and I always have it in my pantry because it always helps me to make good flavors in simple everyday dishes, just like chicken breast that we're doing today. So let's grab a handful of this. It has some liquid in it. And get some berries. Just get about a tablespoon or two. And chop them. What's good about capers is that it has a very lemony flavor, so not much do you use in your dishes. It will really give you a lot of flavor in your dishes, whether it's fish or chicken, any kind of sauce that you're making. It really gives it a light flavor. So you just lightly chop it, just like that, and set it aside. About 1.5 tablespoons will do you just fine in this sauce. So with the sauce also, we're going to use shallots for flavoring. Shallot is kind of a tiny onion. It's in the onion family. You might have seen it around in the grocery stores. It's really sweet, sweeter than your regular onion. But if you don't have shallots or it's not available to you, you can use red onions, because red onions are sweeter also than the white onions. So we can go ahead and chop this as well. Kind of get rid of these ends here. And shallot's one of these things that, you know, some people think it's some fancy ingredient, but it's really not. It's really not. It's just like a red onion. See? It's a little bit lighter red than your typical red onion, and it's a little bit smaller, but it is a lot sweeter, so it gives it a lot, counterbalances the lemony and the flavors of the capers and the lemon. So just go ahead and just slice them. For this recipe, we're going to use 2 shallots. So we'll start with that. Now I have some chicken breasts here. I have 4 very nice plump chicken breasts. And what's so simple, you just really don't have to do much to it, and just a little bit salt and pepper. Sprinkle it on top. Maybe about half a teaspoon on each side. Okay, grab my tongs here. Some pepper as well. And you flip it over your tongs. And salt and pepper the other side. Always have to remember to salt and pepper everything, because that is the basic flavoring ingredient. And everyone has salt and pepper. And I think a lot of people forget, you know, everyone's concerned about how to put more flavor in their food, and forget salt and pepper is a very basic flavoring that you could put in your dishes. And everyone has it, so it's not some crazy ingredient that you have to look for. Okay, so these are nicely salt and peppered. And now we're going to brown it. So with your heated pan with about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, we're going to brown our chicken breast. And make sure it's hot enough to get that crust on the golden brown crust on the outside. Okay. Turn that up just a little bit. We're going to give it a nice golden brown color on the outside. Now with this, you want to make sure that it cooks about 75% of the way, and it's going to cook the rest of the time in the creamy lemon caper sauce. And that way it'll have the flavors in the chicken with it as it's cooking together in the sauce. So right now what we're trying to achieve is just the outside, golden brown color on the outside, and you want that on both sides. And these are pretty big chicken breasts, so you want to make sure that as you're browning it, that it's not raw inside. It's not going to cook all the way, like I said, because we're going to finish cooking it in the sauce. But you still want to make sure that it is cooking all the way through. So your pan is about medium to medium high. And that's also one thing I've learned in the restaurants that I've worked in. We're always teaching everyone to clean as you go, because you always want to make sure that you have a clean area to work in. And the same rule goes in your kitchen. But in my house, the rule is I cook, my husband cleans. We're going to take a little peek here. So it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan, which means that it's getting nicely brown. And it's good for you not to move it around too much. And that way you're not breaking down the chicken. It stays nice and whole, not tearing it apart. Kind of lift it up a little to see if it comes off the bottom, and it's perfect. Now you see that it's nice and golden brown on the outside. Now you brown the other side. Now that the chicken breasts are off the skillet and set to the side, we want to use the same skillet to build our sauce. It's important that we use the same skillet because we have all the little brown bits from the chicken breast that we browned before. All this flavoring is in the bottom of the pan, and we want to use that very same pan to give our sauce this awesome flavor. So we're going to take the shallots that we sliced earlier, just put a handful of that in, just a little bit. So this is about 2 shallots and a tablespoon of the caper, a tablespoon and half a tablespoon, depending on how much you want the caper flavor in your sauce. And you want to move that around. And you can see that it's already picking up the bottom, all that wonderful chicken flavor in the bottom. The shallots and the capers are starting to pick that up. You want to make sure that's just on medium heat. Now while this is going, I have some hot water boiling here. And this is for our orzo pasta, which will be on the side with this chicken breast that we're having today. Orzo, if you're not familiar with, is a really nice pasta. It looks very similar to rice. I eat a lot of rice. I love rice. So orzo is perfect because it has the same look. It's kernels, and it looks just like rice, but it's not. It's pasta. So I have about a pound here. I'm going to put about, say half a pound, so half of this box. You also want to salt the water because this is the only time you're going to salt your pasta. Anytime you're boiling pasta, making pasta, and putting it in the water, you have to put salt in the water. That's the only chance that you get to put some flavor. So we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of salt in there. We're going to put half of this box in. So you just eyeball it. And you don't have to be precise. So we have 4 portions here, so I think half to about 3/4 of the box will be just fine. We'll use the same spoon, move it around. This won't take long at all. It'll take about 8 to 10 minutes. for that to cook. So you just let that be, let it do its thing, cover it back up, and we'll keep building the sauce.